You ready?
Yep.
Hey, how's everybody today? I am Mia Voss. Welcome to the Mia Connect Power Chat. Today we're going to talk about things that are trending, and I've got three guys in my panel that I can't wait for you to meet. So I'm going to start off, and I'm going to jump into them, and then we're going to get into the backpack comments because we have a crap ton of comments to go through. So who wants to be first? Raise your hand. Look at no. Oh, there you go. Boom, winner. Matt Rappaport, welcome. Hey.
Hi.
Hey. There you go.
I'm holding the hangout out with my hands. Oh, it's so heavy.
You are Rappa Old Man Hangout.
Yes. happy old man birthday to me. That's best. Thank you for compliments. I love compliments.
All right,
Thank you, Mia Voss. Thanks for being having me on your Connect, the Mia Connect. I'm Matt Rappaport. I have been on Google Plus since Moses held the 10 Commandments.
The burning bush. Hello.
3 years ago. Yeah, hello. Happy birthday, Mr. Google, or Mrs. Google Plus, I should say.
Right.
And so, yeah, I am the host of Hangout Conversations, and I run Section 10 Media. You also know me. I was working for the Huffington Post the last 6-7 months, doing their Google Plus, and I've done New York City Hurls. And I love social. I love Google Plus. I love the way that tiara looks on you, and I love beards, I guess, because I haven't shaved either. Shannon J. Hernandez is one of my idols when it comes to beards. Him and Ted Fontaine, but yeah, no, Google Plus has been great. Meeting a lot of great people, doing hangouts, and I can't wait for Chef Dennis's blogger cocktail hangout thing that I'm sure you're gonna say a lot more nicer than me. Oh, you're taking a picture.
I'm going to Instagram this bad boy because what I'm loving too is it turned out exactly as I planned is that I've got my two bearded ones on either side flanking Nazim. I kind of planned it that way.
You didn't get it where I was drinking coffee or
Today's show is sponsored by Vegas Coffee.
You know what? My show is sponsored by my Tesla mug that I picked up during my test drive last week. Then I'm still buzzing from. Hey. Exactly. All right, so who else is up? And thank you for coming on the show, Rappa, Matt Rappaport. We're going to dish. You guys, I really want you to put your questions and comments in the event because let's pick their brain. Come on now. It's a smart move. All right, next up, my man, Shannon J. Our famous thing that we do.
I haven't done that in like 6 months. And
You're probably rusty.
There it is.
This one's going out to Mark Seidel right now.
Exactly. Oh, I got Instagram. Shannon, who are you? Where are you? What are you doing? What do you do?
My name is Shannon Hernandez. I hail from Phoenix, Arizona. And excuse me. Hello. Yeah, I'm from Phoenix, Arizona. I have my own website, Shannon J. Hernandez, and I also wear a number of different hats. I help my sister's law firm, Hernandez Family Law. Currently, right now, we are in the middle of a build phase of a membership site for people in Phoenix looking to get a divorce. So if you are looking for a divorce.
I like how you just scoot right past that. Looking to get a divorce.
Yeah. No, so we're doing that. Also, I have been in the planning stages of my own membership site, and of course, when you wear a bunch of different hats, everything that you want to do takes kind of backseat. So, just doing a lot of that, and I've been falling kind of off the face of the planet from Google Plus for like the past, I'd say, month or so. But that was all for a good reason. Only because I had a project that I had created for my parents' 50th anniversary that happened a few weeks back, and so that kind of took. Remember the scene in Star Wars where it was like, the recent Star Wars one, it was like Episode 2, where Yoda comes walking in and he has to fight Count Dooku, and he comes in with like the cane, and then of course when he has to fight, he gets up and he's all awesome, and then when Dooku escapes, then he goes back to his cane. That's how I feel right now. I feel I'm back on my cane right now.
Mia won't talk about Episode 2.
Yeah, exactly. I was about to say, let's note that was our first Star Wars reference, and the fact that right before the show started, I was busting on every Star Wars episode except for 4 and 5. I'll say it.
Right. Now, that was my comparison to how I feel these days.
That was your Harrison comparison.
I actually would go with the comparison of Harrison Ford in Raiders of the Lost Ark when the guy comes out with a sword and he's all this and he's just like, ugh, takes a gun, shoots him. Done. That's you.
I wish that's how I felt.
Exactly. Well, welcome back to the Google Plus world. We missed you.
Yeah, brah.
Yes, bra. Bra, ha, ha. For anybody that knows me and Shannon, we precede everything with the words bra. And finally, last but not least, my brother from another mother, coming straight out of Milan, Nazim Beltran. Hey!
Hey. Thanks for having me on the show. It was a pleasure. I love being here.
Could you swear in Italian for me real quick?
Certo, tendenzialmente dovete andare tutti vaffanculo. And that's the end of that.
Fangul!
There goes the Italian audience.
And I'm watching the numbers drop as we speak.
I know. It's like everybody's like, well, who's this guy?
That's not your numbers, baby.
All right, well, you're the third of my Renaissance man, because I know you guys are saying multitaskers and different hats, but listen, you're a Renaissance men. So tell us what you do.
Renaissance.
Born in Caracas, Venezuela. Parents got divorced when I was 6. My mom dragged me to New York, brought up in Long Island and then in the city. Moved down to Miami, studied architecture, a little bit of programming, got involved in a big firm, then fell in love with the woman that dragged me over to this side of the world.
Betty. Hey, Betty.
Brought me over to Milan, and been working on websites with Park Media since 1995, a lot of major websites for fashion corporations. Soleil DP, where it's a new digital agency. We're doing tons of stuff that's mobile related, apps for tablets and for all the Android and iOS devices. So Google I&O was quite interesting this week, and that's me.
I love it. Now, is Soul ADP, is that the website that I went to yesterday and posted that has that wonderful little summer montage on it?
Oh, yeah, Park Media. Yeah.
Yes, please. Yeah, Park Media. Then post that in the link, too, because I want everybody to see that, because it's adorable.
Okay.
Especially the montage with Betty, when I can think she's possibly swearing, too. And
yeah, she was going through her tax returns, and she was like in Italian saying, oh, this, oh, great, there goes our holiday. Fuck it.
It in Italian, and it's adorable.
Fangul.
I'm going to get in trouble today.
We are, no. Sorry, Betty. She's so adorable. Okay,
where's the Italian food? You didn't bring us anything.
Oh, Bob Bosch just came running in, by the way, and said, meh, so he's going to jump on here in a second, too. So we'll give a little shout-out to Bob Bosch. So, guys, listen, let's do some Batpack comments. You ready? In case you don't know what the Batpack is, that's anybody that's in the audience. And I take that from, who gave me that one? I'll think of it in a second, because he had said it was the Bat Cave. Mark Trappigan, and so we came up with Batpack as our thing. So let's get ready for it. Batpack. We got Dustin Stout in the house. Good to see my man Matthew Rappaport on the show. Hey, Dustin. Sunny says, it's a soccerless Friday, so I'm able to be here to see my good friend Nazim and mi hermano de otra madre, Shannon.
Wait. While we have Nazim here, soccer, football, or who cares?
Yeah, no, that's me. I keep calling it a game, but I believe it's called a match. So, and then we've got Elizabetta. You made the miracle. My husband even paid for the show. That's awesome.
Oh.
I know. My brother Scott's. Oh, look how they put the pictures up on the comments now, you guys.
Yeah, that's new. That's brand new. Yeah.
Starting the day, ending the best way I know. Here on the West Coast with the Mia Connect Power Chat. Thank you, my brother.
I love me some Scott Scowcroft.
I do too. Brother Man does it up right. I also love
coffee named after him.
Yes, love him. Jeff C. Fear the Beard. Woot. Nazim is on with Mia Voss. Awesome.
Thanks, Jeff, man. Great guy.
Yes. We love him. Sue says she's baking some extra special show buns for this, and she really means it.
I like show buns.
Everybody loves extra special show buns. Look up in here. We got Dawn Swick. I'm so excited. It's Friday. Time to get my Mia fix. She's back crap crazy. We love Dawn Swick in Michigan. Mark Barris, I think that's your boyfriend, right, Rappa?
I have lots of friends.
I think you do, actually. He's have awesome sauce on his bacon. Hold the mayo, please. And let's see. A couple more.
Bacon. Awesome.
James Dearsley, he's across the pond. Looking forward to this one. Haven't gone back crap crazy in a while, so welcome back, James Dearsley. Guys, if you have any comments you want me to read out, please let me know. I want to give a ton of shout-out to that, because that's what we do, right?
Oh, Mike Alton in the house.
Yeah.
Oh, brother Mike Alton. And you know what he's doing right now while we're talking about him?
Don't tell me he's not writing a blog.
He's going back crazy!
No, he's
probably writing a new book, too.
He's probably writing a new book, an update to his Hootsuite, and he's written 4 blogs.
Actually, Mike, he's got a whole encyclopedia on Hootsuite.
Hootsuite! Right,
he does have his little encyclopedia. Oh, here's your boyfriend that you saw the other day in the hurl, which for our people that don't know what a hurl is, it's not throwing up, it's a hangout in real life, right? Jason
well, there is some of
Frasca.
that. Yeah, that's part of it.
Yeah,
Okay.
Jason Frasca says, great group of guests, as always, get nothing but tip top. And you got to see him this week, right,
I
Matt?
did, just the tip top. I did. I saw him Wednesday. Sorry, that's an Archer reference. I saw him at the Google I/O Extend in New Jersey, Google Developer Conference. I saw Jason Frasca and Todd Nakamura, and so I took 2 trains to get to New Jersey to watch I/O and network with people that had cool stuff.
As
I always
opposed-
find it interesting when people say, I took 2 trains because I'm from Arizona and everything it requires a horse and buggy.
Ooh.
Pretty much, right? In New York,
Yeah.
it's like 2 trains
Let me
and a
take 2
subway.
trains. Yeah.
Or you could say 2 turntables and a microphone. Then there's that.
Where it's at.
That's a great song.
Where it's at. So
So
speaking
Jason
of
was
Google I/O,
cool. Yeah.
he is cool, and he's, let's all drink because we're gonna say Tool. By the way, hey, if you don't know that rule, when we say Tool, everybody drinks. Shannon,
I feel like a tool. Drink what? Oh.
All right, let's get into it. Google I/O, what you got, everybody? I want to hear. I'm just going to turn it over to you guys because you're going to nerd out. So tell us what you think. What do you think?
Should we start? Let's start with the keynote. I mean, that's basically what I focus on. Did everyone watch the keynote or see the keynote?
Yeah,
Well,
I
loved
watched that.
the little lead-in, which I thought was fun, with the little ball rolling and the clock turning and all that. I love how he mentioned women. We got the little women shout-out,
See,
so.
now that was interesting, but I wonder, like, it felt like press pushed versus like natural, maybe a little bit.
And as a woman I get annoyed when they do a lot of things where it's like, oh, we got to mention girls, and I get annoyed when women set themselves apart in that sense. Can we just kind of all be on the same platform? It felt a little contrived, but I'll take it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm happy for more women. Yeah, please, more women. There
Yeah,
were women
well,
on the
fine.
stage. That was
You like women. You
who
do.
doesn't?
But no,
Yeah.
it did feel a little like it didn't feel as natural. It felt like throwing a bone. So I'm
Yeah,
with you.
especially because it was at the beginning. Like, had they put it in somewhere in the middle, and still made it important, maybe even have a woman come out and talk about the women.
Yeah, that might have been good.
Good point. Good point.
Yeah.
Like it was a crutch moment. So I'm with
Yeah,
you.
like, hey, I'm proud to be one of those women. That would be anyway. But yeah, I mean, it was interesting. I mean, I get that the Google I/O Developers Conference is about developers, but for the last 2 years, it's been also about Google Plus, and it's been also about Vic Condocha, who's no longer with us here. And I think that I was looking forward
with us.
to.
He's just not with us. Right?
Oh, with Google, yeah. He's still on the planet. I think he was in Italy recently, Nazim, based on his pictures.
Yes, he was. He was down in Rome. Yeah.
He was down. He was down with the Romans.
Relaxing, I hope.
Yeah, no.
Or he had business.
Or figuring out what's the next venture.
Oh, definitely. But my take on I/O is that just that I was a little disappointed that there wasn't even a mention of Google Plus as far as what's happening. And they didn't even talk about. But then, in fairness, they didn't talk about search in the keynote. Gmail, Blogger, Glass, Nest.
Glass, yeah, Glass.
They didn't talk about. Yeah, they didn't talk about a bunch of products. YouTube. They didn't talk about a bunch of products. They basically centered on Android and Chrome, which I understand. But I think that a lot of people that joined Google Plus at the beginning or somewhere caught 2012, caught 2013, didn't catch previous I/Os, and were like, I'm ready. Give me the most Google Plus features you've ever given. Because last year they announced 41 new features. So I think people were ready for a 3-year update, which might still come. And I think people were disappointed. And I was a little disappointed that there wasn't a little bit, because I knew that TechCrunch and every single media outlet out there would write a story about how they didn't talk about Google Plus. And I think that's what was most disappointing. But,
I think that. Oh, go ahead, Matt.
No, go ahead. That was the most disappointing.
I think that I'm not saying I don't know. I mean, I don't know what's going on over there in Google, but part of me, and I always like to refer back to my radio experience, is that part of me believes that the reason that we didn't hear about those products like YouTube Search and Google Plus is because it was intentional. I felt like what a lot was being told or what was in the keynote was that it was all building up towards something that will be able to apply to Google Plus, YouTube Search eventually down the line. So to me, it felt like it was more of a foundation building. Although I do agree with you, Matt. I felt like this year's I/O was somewhat lackluster. Like they're like, "Hey, we got these watches," and everyone's like, "Slow clap." It was like, and I just kind of felt like, I spent 3 hours here in my room right here, and I was like, oh man, I could have spent those 3 hours doing something else. I could have got.
those back.
I went to Jersey.
Yeah, I was like, I could have totally got the clip notes.
Go back to that. I took two trains to
I
get
took
there.
2 trains to Jersey to watch. No,
Yeah,
but I
2
think it was fun
trains.
to meet people. For sure.
It's 2 trains.
No, I'm having delay. Sorry, I'm like, delay!
I love delay, and then it looks like we're all extremely rude and just talking over one another.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Oh, you have to be extremely rude. In fact, one of the first early concepts, I was like, let's just do on air where everyone shouts at each other the whole time. That's probably entertaining, though, if you think about it. I would, hey, stop, no!
Shouting match.
It is, and I want to get into that because obviously I've been doing this for like, oh, I got frozen in an awesome facial expression. Speaking of which, but I've been doing in the Hangout world for like a year and a half. I can't imagine what it was like whenever you started, like, because I know you were doing like the Google Hangout marathons too, right?
Yeah, here's my impression of the early days of Hangouts and Hangouts on air. Oh.
Don't actually do that because we won't know if you're faking or if it's real.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's really not that far from it now, just so you know, depending on it. Plus, we're in Mercury in retrograde. I mean, I can't believe nothing's broken yet.
Your computer stopped buffering. What? Okay.
Yeah, it's not actually. All right, Nazim, what did you think? What's your take on the Google I/O?
I mean, the funny thing about developer IOs is that always the developers are there, and I think what's happening in this year's edition is all of a sudden, everybody's looking at it and they're looking at the wearable devices, the car that drives by itself, and it's going outside of the developer realm, because before it was all the geeks going down there and going like, okay, dude, you're Android L, now I can do an API and Google Hangouts and do this and that. Now you're getting everybody involved from outside and saying like, well, what about those watches? What about this? What about Android TV, which I find, it seems like Chromecast and the whole TV, Google TV
It's
experiment.
confusing.
Exactly. So it's kind of like they're trying like, okay, let's push it in this direction. So yeah, I do have to say that there is, it is a letdown in certain things. But if you analyze, if you look at the Apple developers world, that's mighty closed in the sense that over here, at least everybody's, there's much more fanfare. Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you guys think about that?
Like you said, Nazim, it was all about bringing, L to, pretty much just Google everywhere.
It was Android.
Android.
It was totally Android. You're right.
It was totally Android, and I forgot my thought, so continue, Matthew.
Oh, I'm sorry to interrupt. Yeah, that happens all the time.
That was called Rappa Interrupt, by the way.
That was like disrupt, but Rappa-rupt.
Rappa-rupt.
Exactly. And I'm going to keep taking pictures with my Android phone. What do you think about me now?
You should keep flashing us.
I'm gonna get
I know. With my phablet, you mean? My giant phone tablet? It's called a phablet, right? I was thinking that it did seem like it was, they started off with I don't know what his name is, but the Android.
Oh, I know what I was going to say. Sorry.
Oh,
okay, go ahead.
And now you got Shannon interrupted.
Hernandez,
exactly. Keep going, guys.
I just know that when I was what Nazim was saying about like the Apple conference where it's like all Apple products are somewhat isolating. This is kind of a nice reassurance that Google and Android can invade not only just the computer but our lives. I have a ton of friends still who love iOS, and I have nothing wrong with iOS. I actually love both platforms equally, but I'm more of a fan of the Google.
You don't
platform.
hear that very often, by the way.
Hey, Google.
I own both types of devices, but I use my Android device, and it just works. It just works with everything that I do. Drive, Google Plus, Gmail. Everything works easily. So, and it's not to say that those applications don't work equally as good with iPhone, but they're a little slower, obviously, because of there's not for some applications there's more development going into them than others. So I don't know. I just like the fact that it's becoming more of a John Connor society these days. My Terminator reference.
I was about to say that was a good one. I enjoyed that one.
I would just jump in and say what Nazim said about the self-driving car. Maybe we'll get it next year, but we didn't get the Sergey self-driving car demo, which we expect based on the skydiving glass demo. I expected Sergey to jump in with a self-driving car, and I/O would open on a video like Saturday Night Live or something. Sergey in a car outside the arena saying, "We're in the car. He's wearing his glass. I'm in a self-driving car," and seeing him drive around a corner block or something. I thought we were getting that, but.
That was me last week in the Tesla.
Nice.
When I actually went fast.
That was a great show. I loved it.
Thanks, brother.
But I think that's what people are expecting. There was no bang, there was no flash, there was no, even if it wasn't Google Plus, I didn't feel like we got that OMG moment. I think, you know,
No,
usually
I don't think so either.
there's usually a surprise at I/O, and I don't think there was a surprise. The TV was basically confirmed. We already heard about the smartwatch. That wasn't new. You know, and as far as I think there were articles about the Android car being in cars. That wasn't new. So it was new to see it, but it wasn't new in, oh, we lost Hernandez.
You know what? I think it's actually you. He just completely disagreed. Oh,
no, he got a bounce. He bounced.
You put the shutdown button on him.
And this is not to say that I/O isn't special and all that. You know, there was a lot of other stuff going on. There was Glass and Google Plus in other areas and sessions, but I think most people focus on the keynote, and I think that was the issue. Most people wanted to hear it.
Yeah. And I would think we expect that. That's what our world is. We're looking like for the big flash in the pan, the big, like, you know, something exciting, and it just more felt like a little bit of an update, you know, like nothing.
I'm more like a guy who loves. I mean, I know a lot of people. More people were like, "Oh yeah, there should have been something awesome." I'm more of a guy who believes that this is all leading up to something bigger. You know.
Yeah.
That's what I believe it.
Yeah.
I mean, because Google's going to hold another conference, you know, closer to the end of the year, and just like last year, they did that with Chromecast, so they may announce something like a Nexus 8, you know, at that time.
Here's a comment from David Henry. I have a feeling they're trying to stabilize. I like how he does it with his English spelling. The Android side of Google Plus, and then they will be mentioning changes. So he's on that.
I think we all agree that there's more coming. That's not it. I think it's just that I/O is their big event. Are supposed to be their big event, and they fueled all those media people. Yeah, Nazim.
Let me just ask you guys now. Where does this leave Apple and iOS and the whole Apple world? Is it kind of like
the water? No, I'm kidding.
No, don't say that. But do you guys sense that they're losing traction? They're losing.
This is why
I feel like they're losing. I feel like they're losing a little bit of steam. I mean, I think they're still a force to be reckoned with, but.
Right.
You know, I think they're going to keep up the good fight for a while.
Right.
I feel like iOS is going to match Android. They might be behind, they might be ahead in different areas, but you're going to see the watch, you're going to see the iOS in the car, you're going to see what was the other? I don't know. Oh, Apple TV already exists, so
yeah. Also, the device propagation with the Internet of Things. You know, everything inside the devices.
Right. Mm-hmm. And the Apple's making their own type of Google Apple Fit or iFit or whatever it's called. I don't know. I mean, it's they match each other, so it's not, you know, who does it better.
Yeah. In the meantime, Amazon's playing around with drones, right?
Wait, Amazon has their own phone too. Whatever.
I know, they got the Amazon Fire. What's your opinion on that?
I don't know. I haven't used it. I was trying to. You know what I want to? You know what? Actually, I want to. I'd rather talk about Amazon. The Fire TV versus the Roku, versus, you know, now we have both Android TV and Chromecast. If you love your Chromecast, are you going to buy Android TV too, or do you need both? That's my question.
Well, if I do that, I'll just switch the Chromecast to a separate room and then buy Android TV.
You guys know that we're geeks, so we're going to check them all out. You're going to have your.
I'm not a geek. What are you talking about?
And just so you know that they are available. That please steal all of their lunch money, because I've got a nerd fest up in this mug, just so you know, in case you guys knew that was coming anyway. I'm so slow though. That's what I love. Like Shannon, I think I told you that. I'll take a picture of it. I just started doing my Chromecast like 2 weeks ago because I like to come late to the party. You know what I'm saying? I'm the non-nerd in the group here. Let's see what else we've got going on.
That's not true.
Yeah. What did you hear me, Nazim? I was talking about. I'm like, I'm an idiot savant. I'm like a monkey when it comes to your like WordPress. I'm like, I don't even understand. What did I do? I was like, you were making my head hurt when you were talking about the word. This is how I felt. Remember?
Who?
Hey.
You're Nazim.
I'm freaked out by that picture.
Yeah, that's how I felt too. Here's a good one. I love this because our brother Aaron Wood, who I hope is feeling better. I'm assuming he is because he's online and messing with all of us. R.I.P. Google Plus. You know, he's just doing it to fan the flames, which, Matt, I was looking at that article you wrote last month, that right after the whole TechCrunch thing. You guys want to talk about that?
Yeah, and TechCrunch actually just wrote, surprisingly, the elephant in the room, Google Plus, Google Glass. So that wasn't a surprise. Yeah, it's just a way to get. I think it's just. I mean, there are a lot of people that don't want to be bothered with Google Plus, and I said this in Jersey. Everyone has Facebook. They didn't want to bother with Twitter. Eventually, they did, and they don't want to bother with Google Plus. It's just more work, and everyone expects they just jump on Google Plus, and then everyone will know they're there. But that's not how it works. Twitter, you have to put in the work. People are still trying to build followers. And there's tons of journalists that are on Twitter. They use Twitter, but they don't have that many followers. They don't have that many. There's so many journalists out there that have Twitter accounts and they post constantly and have 0 favorites and 0 retweets and 0 replies, yet they still post on Twitter. So for them to say, oh, I post on Google Plus and no one says anything, well, you're posting on Twitter and nobody's saying anything.
So why should I over here?
Yeah, it's just that I agree, man. I mean, everything Matthew says, I'm going to say I agree.
You are. That's your new boyfriend.
How many boyfriends do I have? Women are brutal.
No, so I mean, it's the same thing with Matt. I mean, I get frustrated by people, because whenever I do monthly webinars with people, and they're like, well, I just want to automate from Google Plus, or actually, I want to automate from Facebook to Google Plus, and I'm just like, it doesn't work that way. You've got to put work into it, But I mean, ultimately, really. I mean, Mia, you know this about me. I'm all about the list. I'm all about building the email list. If you're a small business or you're an entrepreneur or an online entrepreneur, you have to build the list. I mean, we don't own these people on Google Plus or Facebook or Twitter. We don't own any one of them. I mean, we have great social, like clout, but I mean, that's great. But I mean, what is it going to do if you're in it for making money, man? You need to be building an email list.
The list is life, according to Shannon and Denise Wakeman, by the way, because she loves that too. So I'm with. Yeah, you started me on that too, and Stefan Hovnanian's really big on that too. So I'm with you. I mean, because what happens? Like, yeah, you've got 50,000 people following you on Google Plus, or you got them on Twitter. Do you have their email address? Nope.
Yeah, actually.
Go ahead, Matt.
But real quick, so yeah, Jason was talking about this in his seminar, and the great thing about Google Plus is because it's tied to Gmail, and because your name is tied to Gmail, you don't even have to collect email addresses like you did before. If you're on Google Plus, as you connect to people, you can email them directly just through their Google Plus name, even if you don't have their email. So it's it's a marketing tool right there. For all those marketers out there, they're like, oh, Google Plus, I don't know, but it's a much better way to connect with people, because on Facebook and Twitter, people will see it as spam. But for some reason, unless you're just like some random dude from Asia typing random letters, nothing against Asia, but I'm saying if you're a random dude,
don't say a random dude from Italy.
If you're a random dude from Italy typing letters and you sent me some cheese in the mail, that still stays. Yeah, I mean, my point is that you can connect with them.
My point, and I do have
never be allowed in China ever again. What? I was never there. But my point is that there's a way to connect on Google Plus that doesn't feel spammy, where it might feel spammy on Facebook and Twitter, because using Gmail, people, oh, I got a Gmail, and it's from somebody. Just like when someone sends you a Gmail that you don't know, that's like, hey, Mia, hey, Shannon, hey, Nazim, I saw you here, and I like you. You're like, oh, cool, thanks, and you reply. You're not like on Facebook and Twitter where you see it, and you're like,
Right. The only ones I don't reply to are the ones that go, hey.
They needed to add a picture of bacon.
And then you've got to.
I knew the bacon was coming up.
Yeah, bacon's always a good thing. I love this one from my girl Lori Leisure. Any platform is what you put into it, mixed with timing, so it's much easier when you get in on the ground floor. I will tell you, I've had a couple people say that. I mean, I love this platform over here. I put stuff over on the other platforms, but I'll have people tell me, they're like, how am I going to convince people, and how do I get people? I'm like, you don't. Like, either they get it or they don't. They have to put time into it. So I don't really spend a lot of my time. I mean, they know I drink the Google Plus Kool-Aid, but I'm not going to sit here and convince them, because then they're going to come to me every time they get irritated. I'm like,
well, I mean, think about all the benefits.
You brought me over here.
I did. Yeah. Fix it.
I mean, think about all the benefits you get from Google Plus. I mean, you get in this instance, I mean, Mia, you have built a following clearly just by doing a hangout show, and communicating with people. I mean, this is a great way and great means not only to just, be in and doing your own thing, but, again, collecting email addresses, if that's what I'm doing,
Right.
But the other thing is, like kind of like transitioning into the whole week, I mean, you can add Google Comments, which is something now that actually is now implemented inside of YouTube messaging now. They just announced that earlier this week. And then there was a great article that Mark Traphagen wrote on Google authorship and the removal of the images in search now from authorship. So that's kind of a huge thing that was kind of like glossed over this week when it came to updates. And you know, and that's something that I teach on. I'm like, hey man, you got to get the authorship. But then again, you know, I have mixed reviews about that because, you know, if people are blogging content and they are doing it every now and again, kind of like me lately, but they're only doing it every now and again, their picture may show up and it looks like a wasteland of just like pictures of people who are just inactive on Google Plus, and maybe, you know, they just post every once in a while, but they have great authority with this blog. So you know, there's some major changes, but I mean, there's also great benefit when it comes to Google Plus. So I don't try to twist or the knife or twist anyone's arm and say, hey, you've got to be on this platform because it's way more awesome than Facebook. I just say, hey, if you want to put work into it, it's up to you. That you know, really, it's like getting up every morning and going and exercising. Do you want to do it?
Yep.
Good point.
It's up to you.
That's a great point, because another thing is, yeah, when you start having people on Facebook and then you show them the magic in here and they're like, but then they look at the interface and they're like, where do I start? And they're like, that the UX in Google Plus is kind of like, hello, and in Facebook, you know, and I think you guys probably agree with that. And then you end up spending time. Somebody likes communities and they like communities a lot, or they're, you know, and that's the great thing about the different things I can have in here. But still, I can understand how they get intimidated. And then once you get them to install a plugin just to be able to do an NHO, it's kind of like, man, in Skype I just do like that and it's done. And you're like,
well, actually, they're coming out with. They actually think they announced that they're doing Hangouts without. They're getting rid of the plugin where you can just do a Hangout without a plugin.
Yeah,
so
nice.
Yeah, I read about that too. Yeah.
Because that throws a lot of my guests too that are kind of new. Because that's what I'm trying to do with my Hangouts is bring people over. So there's a little bit of a newbie element because we start to get this really small swimming pond over here of the same people. So that'll be kind of nice too. Hey Nazim, can you talk a little bit more about that with I mean, you're really sort of, you've got your feet in both worlds. You're over in Italy, you're in Europe, but you're interacting with a lot of us here. Talk about that, how that's been for you. I mean, God, I mean, let alone like now Greg and I have a place to go in Italy because we're going to come and see you.
Exactly. No,
right?
it's magical in the sense that obviously I'm an American here and I have American friends and stuff, but I really miss.
By the way, everybody is always like, thinks like that's like you're going to have this heavy accent, and then here comes New York.
It's like hello, but the point is that I met so many great people here back in the States and engaged with them, and it's you can't have that with, you know, Facebook is more your friends and stuff. Here it's an open market, and as Matthew was saying before, you can ping somebody and you know, if they're busy, they'll tell you, dude, I'm busy. But if they're not, they'll definitely say, oh yeah, see, I saw this, I saw that, and the interchange of all these things is super special. I think the drawback here in Italy, and I'm going to get in trouble for saying this, is the lack of English. The lack of English, because everybody here, like, you know, and Italians are like, oh, it's in English, and I go, dude, I mean, if you want to talk to people across the world, you know.
Yeah, but you can translate. I mean, isn't that amazing?
I know, yeah, you can translate in the interface, but a lot of people. I mean, Facebook, when it took off here, it only took off when it got translated to the Italian platform. Before, there was nobody on it because it was in English. And but I think slowly, you know, you're starting to see a lot of Italian companies get involved with Google Plus because of the fact that everybody in the States is starting to use it, and so they see that in that market. And that's right.
I totally agree with that. Yeah, I totally agree with that. You know, yeah, it's funny you say that too, Nazim, because I just was thinking the other day, I was like, you know, the reason I don't get on the Russian Facebook is, well, it's in Russian. I don't get it.
And you need to slow down. It's Russian all the time.
And I got to put a camera on my head and stand on a building and just, you know,
walking
around.
Yeah. I can ask for all the meteors over your head.
I love it when I get those. I get the messages from somebody that I don't even recognize the characters, and I just hit that.
I love it when Mia gets the what?
The what?
The what?
The what?
I saw freeze. It froze on my end.
It says what? What?
It said, Mia, what? What? When I hit the little translate button, because I'm like, I don't even understand the letters that are coming at me, so I'm with you on that, too. But hasn't that been fun? Like, I mean, for me, when I started in Google Plus last year, some of the first people that I connected with are out of Panama. And I was like, there's no way I would have ever met Randy and Annabelle. Hey, by the way. if it hadn't been for the plus. So that's my shiny kumbaya moment for Google Plus. I'm going to segue real quick, guys. If you're just tuning in, you're watching the Mia Connect Power Chat. I've got, let me show it right there. Matt Rappaport, hey. Nazim Beltran, oh, hey. There you go, party. And Shannon J. Hernandez. There it is. Yay.
That's from Mark Seidel.
But you're exactly. I didn't mean to quick your segue. Yeah, you're exactly right. The Google Plus is internationally known. They like to rock a microphone. Yeah, Twitter and Facebook has international, but they don't. People don't interact internationally on Facebook and Twitter like they do on Google Plus. So.
Has it been that way for? I mean, so you started doing Hangouts when? Rappa.
In the year 325.
The year of our Lord, what?
Yeah, about
25.
Yeah, no, I was doing Hangout. Actually, my first day on Google Plus did Hangouts, not on air. But the funny thing is, the thing that got me hooked were Hangouts, and I met Chichu, the Google Plus Hangout leader. And it was funny because, you know, you jump into Google Plus, you're like trying out the features, you're in a Hangout. The first person in the Hangout was this Rebecca Woodhead, who's from England, so that was cool. And then she jumps in, and he's like in his 40s, but he looks like a teenager still sometimes. And I was like, oh, hey, dude. He's like, hey, I invented this. I'm like, yeah, sure you did. You know, so that kind of, because why would I expect someone that worked at Google to jump into a Hangout? So I didn't realize that. And that was kind of cool, the culture of Google intertwining with the users, interacting and getting real feedback. You don't see that on Facebook and Twitter, so that was kind of cool and got me hooked.
Will you post that link on the event here too? Because I think that'd be fun for people kind of to see. And you're right. I bet you're probably like, yeah, sure you did, and yeah, sure you're that guy. Because there's
that wasn't an on air. Sorry, that was just a regular Hangout. But I do have earlier
just a regular
Hangouts.
one. Okay.
Yeah. I do.
You had I think you had sent like one of your marathon because you've definitely done some marathon ones too, right?
Yeah, I've done ones for a long ones, but actually so we were doing Hangouts on air before they were on air, and that's what caused on air to become available, because we were doing a bunch of us, me, Dan McDermott, a bunch of musicians doing concerts, Heather Faye, Daria Moss, Ryan Van Sickle. A lot of people were just streaming, using Livestream, using Ustream, and they were just iStream, Ustream. So so that was what was happening, and so we were doing that, but it was a lot harder and a lot shakier, but it was cool, and.
But it was just like anything that was the new technology. You still appreciated it, and now you can see when it gets better. Speaking of, Heather Faye is going to be on Sheffy's tonight for the little happy hour. For the exactly. All right, listen.
You guys are lucky because happy hour over here is at 2 in the morning. I told. Steph,
I know. That's why Nazim always looks loaded when he goes on here. Right now.
We're drinking coffee. He's drinking coffee with Kool-Aid.
Yeah. Nazim, I'm gonna send you pictures of like whatever drink I'm drinking at that time, and just snapshot it and send it to you. Be like, hey, this is for you, buddy.
Yeah, this is all for you. Listen, we're already at 38 past the hour. Let's dish on some other junk. Let's talk about anything pop culture. So, you want to talk about Star Wars? We can.
Yeah. Speaking of nerds, you're like, I'm not a nerd, but before we started, secret, she was going off on. You nerded out on episode 6, Return of the Jedi, Revenge of the Jedi.
Well, and here's why. You ready for me to get on my rant? I'll do it again for you.
Hang on, I'll be back. Just kidding.
Yes.
Drop the mic.
Anything. Yeah. Everybody gets up.
Enable dork moment. Got to take the headphones off. Just kidding.
Here.
Okay, my thing is, we were talking and we did the, look at now he's up. Let me see. Hold on, Rappa. What was that? Oh, dear. Oh, heck yeah.
I really want an app that just is called Rappa.
It is a Rappa app. He'll probably build one for you. Actually, Nazim, you should build one for us.
There you go.
Hey.
Okay, so that's my rant.
I don't associate with those people. What?
He's got all kinds of props. All right, my rant is just that I think that Star Wars 4 and 5 are the only ones that are viable. That's it. Throws down the mic. So let's talk about that. So let's talk about, the whole production's going on right now.
So wait,
so
you won't be going to see episode 7 because it's not.
I'm going to give it a 5. I didn't say. Actually, I kind of did. Let me back up a second. I will watch it, especially because I'm going to get early on my Bat Crap Crazy. I'm Bat Crap Crazy for this thing called Omaze, O-M-A-Z-E. Have you guys seen it? You ever heard of it?
Oh, so yeah.
It's a fundraiser, and basically what they had is a fundraiser, and it gives to UNICEF, and I donated, and I've got the chance to actually get flown out to, which I'm going to win, just so you know, flown out to the Star Wars set. hang out with J.J. Abrams and that whole thing. And so they have all these really cool, awesome, like you could do all these different kinds of adventures. So I'm gonna go for that. I'm gonna give it a chance. I'm gonna be a tough critic though, just so you know.
Okay. But I got a question though, Mia, for you,
Nerd.
or whoever else on this nerd panel would like to answer.
Nerds.
What do you think about
Sorry, they don't have that sound effect yet.
the Italian version of dork or
There you
nerd?
go.
Hey, we are all right. We are geek chic.
What do you feel about the cameo appearance of Tom Cruise supposedly going to be making in the Star Wars?
Yeah.
I didn't hear about this.
I didn't hear that.
Oh, that's because Tom Cruise and JJ are buddies.
They are buddies, yeah.
Is he in what do you call it? Is J.J. Abrams in Scientology?
I don't
I
know.
don't know.
There you go.
See how I went to that? That's what I assumed. He's only going to collaborate with people that are.
I know. Is he a Scientologist? I guess.
Well, if Tom Cruise is in Star Wars Episode 7, but they make him into like a creature, like he was in what was that? Tropic Thunder. He was basically a different creature. I'll take that's fine.
Well, he's a different
He's like
creature.
Jabba the Hutt in Tropic
That would
Thunder.
be cool.
I forgot about that.
Oh,
Well,
how awesome would
what
that
about
be?
Ben Affleck in Batman? That caused quite a little stir. Nerd alert.
I think people are just unfair.
Oh, mer. I kind of like that.
You know, I think whatever. Ben Affleck, he's eye candy for the girls. Whatever.
That's
Yeah,
right.
but everyone they ever cast for Superman is an unknown and is eye candy, so whatever. Same
I
difference.
know, man. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
That's
true.
true.
Now I was gonna say not for Batman. They've always gone for famous people. All right, let's segue into. Let's also talk about what we're liking on TV. Of course, I've got 109 days until October 14th, which is what? Does anybody know?
Walking Dead.
Crickets. Thank you. Boom.
I was gonna say
That was his TV.
15 more days until Halloween.
I was gonna say Sunday, The Leftovers. That might be cool.
Oh, listen, thank you. The Leftovers, right? What is that on? Have you guys seen the commercial for that? I love that
HBO.
kind of stuff. Is that the BO?
Yeah, Damon Lindelof, who did Lost. That's why I love Lost, but I didn't like how it ended. Nerd alert. But the Leftovers is, I think, a story about how 2% of the population just randomly disappears one day, and then
What?
they deal with the aftermath. They don't know why it happened.
Right.
Isn't that kind
And
of
now,
how it
based
is
on-
now these days?
Ha 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 ha.
Right.
People are all on their phone.
Where's the
No one
scary
is
music?
in
Where's the
their
sound
house.
effect? These people
Exactly.
actually get vacated off the planet. That's.
I
yeah.
think that's actually based on the Book of Revelation, right? The end times. What is that called? The Rapture.
The Rappa show? No.
The Rappa. Sure.
Sure.
You did that one pretty good. Yes, I definitely want to see that. I finished Orange is the New Black. Did you guys watch that?
I'm crazy about that show. Me and
Oh,
my
yeah.
wife were like
No,
nuts.
don't you mean your crazy eyes
Solid.
about that show?
Yes.
Yeah.
Solid show.
I
Well,
really
the
wish
second
I
season
could
was
have had
solid.
a camera on me for, and we're not going to, since there's no spoiler alert, a camera on me for the end of season 2. I was like, oh, hell no. I went really ghetto on that one. Did you guys see it?
I haven't.
Yeah, see, that was
halfway
I like
through.
season. Oh, go ahead,
I
Nazim.
like-
Sorry.
I'm halfway through because I got to watch it on Netflix with a VPN from here.
Oh, don't worry, Nazim. Everyone dies in the end.
Hashtag first world problem. Wait, no, that's Titanic. What?
Exactly.
You're
All
so
right.
stupid, Rose. You're so stupid. That's
That
my
was like
favorite
a-
line. Wait, my
someone
two
was-
favorite lines from Titanic. You're so stupid, Rose. You're so stupid. As he's about to die, I think. And then the other line was like, "I hope you two enjoy your time together." When Billy Zane says that, those are my two favorite lines from Titanic.
Billy Zane.
Billy Zane.
I hope you enjoy your time together.
I loved getting on the radio, and whenever there's like a big release, like Transformers is coming out, like, oh yeah, I went out and saw the new Transformers. Yeah, what happened in the end? Oh, they all die.
Marky Mark, the Funky Robot Bunch. Aaron Wood wrote a review. Shout out to Aaron Wood on Marky Mark. CC's
Oh, he
everything.
did. So there's a shout out. That does look kind of good. I kind of like that. That one I will definitely see. Now, what about?
Wait,
Let's
did
see
you
what
say
else.
Transformers 4 with Marky Mark looks good?
Yes, I said it.
Okay.
I don't judge. I heard Judgy Wudgy just
And
showed
he's
up.
got to be in his Calvin Klein undies whenever he films it.
He's like, hey, robot, say hello to your mother for me.
It's such.
You just paid $20 to see me in this movie. How does it feel? All right.
You drink a lot of coffee,
No,
Rob.
I drink.
Bro, I've only had one cup, man. Jeez, like.
Rob, this is full on. This is half Rob. I'm at half.
This is full
Bruh.
on. This is why you are old man hangout, because you are entertaining. That was an awesome Marky Mark, by the way. I'm totally
Oh,
loving it.
thanks.
All right, what about, well, why don't you talk about Game of Thrones?
There you go.
Okay.
And I'll be right back.
No.
Yeah.
You don't watch Game of Thrones, Shannon? Is it because you don't have HBO, or?
Do what?
I just never had an interest in it.
Same here.
I
No,
don't need
that's
another
nice.
show to get interested in. I mean, that just kind of delays
No.
everything else that I'm doing.
Right.
Hey guys, yeah, real quick. Somebody tell me how many comments we're at, because I've got it going, and I really think now that Rappa got on his Rappa rant, it was really blowing up. That's awesome. Seriously, it's totally blowing up. I love Game of Thrones. I'm only halfway through season 2, and every 2 weeks I get a little ping from Stefan like, "Have you watched it yet?" Because I had to stop, but I will admit I stopped in the beginning because I was like, this thing is off the chain violent, but it is good.
I should
I'll
watch
admit.
it. I should watch it because every time I get on my Chromecast, I see it on my. I go to Google Play and I'm like, all right, what movie should I rent? And Game of Thrones is like first or second. I'm like, oh, whatever, pass.
Yeah,
that
they're
one.
like this. Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones.
For those of you watching, I am completely caught up, so don't think the whole panel is outdated. All right.
What'd you say?
I said for those, everyone's watching, like, how are you not watching? Whatever. I'm like,
Yeah, I
no,
know.
watch. I'm there.
I love how anything you post anywhere on Facebook, anywhere, it becomes this huge polarized, like it's like saying things like you've never seen, and then insert the movie. There's like,
Well, that's how it was with Breaking
outrage.
Bad. I was like, you've not seen Walter White yet? I'm like, no, I don't know. Are you kidding
You
me?
did not say my name.
There's a lot of judgment on it for sure.
I am the one who +1. All right.
I will say, I'm going to talk about another couple arcane ones. Not so arcane. I love The Blacklist, and I love Hannibal. Faux show.
I watched
Hannibal.
Blacklist.
Haven't checked them out.
Yeah, I wanted to like Blacklist, but after a while, I watched the first season or first half, and then I was like, James Spader went from like this cuddly, sort of semi-intelligent, nice guy to a violent, mean guy. Even though
Creepy.
yeah, so I didn't buy. I don't know. That was like the Kevin Bacon one. I was watching that for a while, but then I got.
Yeah.
Like,
What was that? What is that one called?
starts with an F, but I forgot on Fox. But
The
back
Following.
to the following. But real quick with Game of Thrones, so there's some shows you watch, you're like, oh, this is pretty good, and then there are shows that come along and you're like, oh, this is epic. And Game of Thrones is one of those shows where if you're watching a show that you think is just is entertaining, this will be. I'm telling you.
You guys are killing me right now. Like you're gonna ruin. You're gonna
segue out of it, but he's right.
You're
It
gonna
is good.
suck me into this whole thing, and I'm gonna lose a whole month of my life.
All right. So anybody out there that's watching Dexter, or anyone that hasn't seen Game of Thrones that's in the middle of like Dexter or Lost, which are okay, but Game of Thrones is way better. So stop watching those.
I agree with you.
When I have my moment on the couch, Rappa, and I got like my shirt pulled up and a ham sandwich laying on top of me, I'm blaming you.
Is that Al Bundy? Well, you should blame Al Bundy, not me.
For the pose, but for the fact, that now and that's what I say too. I'm like, please don't get me into something that I'm gonna have to watch, because I'm that way. I've got my two main ones: Walking Dead and Downton Abbey. Can you get any more different on that one?
Well, Walking Dead
Abbey's
has
easy.
disappointed me, but I still watch.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
I said I'm disappointed with Walking Dead, but I'm
Oh, I
still
heard
gonna
you.
watch. Oh yeah.
Actually, for me, that show is called The Walking Dead.
The Brocking
That
Dead.
show is called Brains.
Brains is right. I love this one too. One other comment: Orphan Black is also really good. That's on BBC. Candace Marco said that one too. So hey, let's talk
I
about.
just watched last night.
Mike
What?
Alton brings a good one up. House of Cards.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
House of Cards is huge.
Yeah,
That's my
that
boy,
one's
Mike
very
Alton,
good.
coming in the clutch. Thanks,
Yes.
buddy.
Great.
Mike Alton fist bump. He's always good. He always brings. You're right. That was a really good one too. All right, let's talk about real quick, and then we're gonna wrap it up here, and we're gonna wrap it up. Sports. Anybody want to talk about sports? Which, if you have met me, you know that it's very shocking that I actually even said that, because unless there's food and booze involved, I generally don't watch any. Greg will attest to that. But
well, let me tell you this. I know exactly where you're going with this, Mia. World Cup, and I know Najim wants to.
Yeah!
Nobody cares and watches the World Cup. What are you talking about?
You know what? The only thing I know is
Let me tell you this. So let me tell you this real quick. So I went to the local taco shop here in town, and both times, like on last Friday, and then of course like on Tuesday or something like that, and they had the game on, and they had the Mexico-Croatia game on the other day. And soccer is like, what, 90 minutes of like kicking a ball around and no scoring. The last 3 minutes, The last 3 minutes were awesome for me because that's when the most scores were happening, and I was like, "This is not my kind of soccer, man." It happened twice in the same. So I'm gonna go to the taco shop again today with a friend, see if it happens again.
Yep. What is that wrap up? Is that World Cup? Is that your little like alert that you get, or that you don't want to get alerts?
This is the Yo app, which everyone most people hate. And the thing about this is that if you send a Yo to World Cup, they will send you a Yo every time a goal is scored in the World Cup. Which is kind of cool because then you're like, that way it's valuable. Most people are like, who cares about the Yo? But then if I have the World Cup going Yo, I'm like, oh, someone scored. Let me see who scored. You know.
Okay, what's the scoop on Yo, by the way?
I can see you in the business meeting with that in the background.
Exactly.
Yo.
Now that's what was that I saw? Oh, it's hey. It's not yo. Hey.
You're like, Yo's gonna come out with a new feature. You can send a hey or how's your mother.
Aren't you guys excited that the USA team is in 1/8? They might make it.
Yeah, I have my Twitter. I did the Twitter profile thing.
Okay. I'll admit, I'm a Fairweather fan, and when I saw that come up on my notifications, I was like, oh, that's awesome.
That's me. At this clutter, what I do is I just love to watch anything, like where I just watch my feed, and then I kind of judge and count how it's the same comment. Oh, go! I'm like, really? Because nobody else said that.
I'll be honest with you, I'll be straight with you, honest. Soccer is actually, I do enjoy watching it. It is very interesting to me because I just think to myself, how hard those guys run for like 90 minutes, and they come out just like drenched in sweat, and they're like, oh yeah, let's go have like a couple brews afterwards, and they're still going. It blows my mind. I get on the elliptical machine for 30 minutes, I'm like, I'm dying at that point. So much respect to those guys. I mean, I think it's a very cool sport to actually watch.
Did you just describe like soccer or a porn? I couldn't tell.
Is there a
bunch of guys running around sweating, chasing a ball?
Wait, I don't know what you're doing.
Look at that. That was awesome. All right, I'm going to post something real quick. We're going to segue here soon. I'm just posting, speaking of hey, my new favorite cat video that I sent to you the other day, Shannon. I'm just going to put that out there because I can't do anything on you. Hey.
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 Which cat video are you talking about? The one where he's choking on a bowl?
No, hey.
Happy
Cat
Day.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Hey, cat. Okay, so real quick, VidCon. Is anybody even interested in that? Because I went and looked at the VidCon lineup, and if I even attended one of those conferences, I would bring the median age up by 20 years because it's
I'll still watch the World Cup.
Totally. Have you guys watched it? Are you gonna check it out?
I only saw that YouTube announced a couple of things at VidCon instead of at I/O, which makes perfect sense. What? But YouTube announced that they're gonna have like that, and they said it before, the Kickstarter type thing where you can tip content creators, which is kind of cool, and a lot of other things. That's just the tip of the iceberg, just a tip, but I don't really know what else.
Same here. I haven't had it. Check that out.
Exactly. Oh, and Sunny just piped in. Twitter is the largest sports bar, the world's largest sports bar.
Very true. She's got a good point about that.
Add water. Mm-hmm. And
somebody, real quick, Playwright 49. Shout out to them in Manhattan. They actually were like, hey, in your NY Actor, that's my Twitter @ New York Actor. They're like, hey, you should come watch World Cup action. They're like, oh, have a drink with us. They were tweeting at me. I was like, oh, that's interesting. So
Nazim, I'm gonna follow your Twitter feed because I feel like you're the person that's probably a little more into the World Cup right now.
What is? Should we talk about Italy? Because I don't know what they're doing.
They're out.
All right, then let's not talk.
Ouch.
About
it. But you're into soccer though. You're like big into soccer though, right?
Yeah. Well, the great thing that Italy left is that we can finally get back to work.
Wait, are you? Yeah, right.
The whole country stopped.
The whole country's like, let's not watch any other games. Okay.
You guys want to preview the app? No. You're watching. Okay. See you next week.
I think that's the only reason why Sunny's even here is there isn't a game on right now.
I know. Sunny, well, me and Sunny, I mean, we were watching the games and commenting in real time, which is great. Yeah.
Yeah, no, she's really fun for that too. Okay, and then the NBA draft was last night. I had to watch a little bit of that. That seemed interesting. Anybody on that one?
Go Heat. Go Heat.
I'm sorry, what does that mean?
Go Heat. Miami.
The Knicks made a trade with Dallas. They sent Tyson Chandler 2 days ago, I think, back to the Mavericks. Yeah, that's about it.
I'm literally going to fall asleep for these 2 minutes that you talk about it, but I'm sure
let's talk baseball. I'm a huge New York Mets fan.
I am too.
Oh, no.
Oh, really? Matthew.
That up.
All right, Matthew.
Boys.
My type of guy.
Yep.
You know what? We only have 5 minutes. We didn't talk about 3 years of Google Plus, did we?
Okay, you got 2 minutes to talk about 3 years of Google Plus. Go.
I want everyone to talk about it. No, it's just
We will.
it's cool that 3 years of Google Plus on Saturday.
Yes.
That we formed so many relationships and friendships, and we had such a good time, and we're still having a good time when we're not bugging out.
Is that real or is that actually fake? No.
You'll have to go back to the videotape to find out. No, I'm looking forward to what's ahead, what's coming. Just just with everyone, and how Hangouts on Air will hopefully improve. And I'm hoping Hangouts on Air will get some Android TV time, and maybe
There you go.
That's what I would like. That would excite me if when they show the Android TV demo. I was like, oh, I see YouTube, and sure, maybe a Hangout on Air will pop up there. But why? Hopefully, there'll be a Hangout on Air suggestion, so people could oh, what's a Hangout on Air? Oh, what is this? Oh,
great idea. That is a great idea because there's definitely a gap between that. Sonny just said that the NBA used Hangouts to interact with fans last night. So the more that the bigger guys are using that, I just hope the bigger guys learn how to use it because I feel like I keep seeing these Hangouts with these huge brands and nobody's there. So I think they're kind of doing it as this obligatory thing, but hopefully the easier it gets, everybody's.
I would just real quick just say they showed a search feature. So if you're searching for say Mia Boss, then Hangouts on Air come up.
As
So
you
searching
should.
for Starbucks, Hangouts. Mia Boss, Mia Sauce, Mia like a boss, like a boss. I don't know.
Mia
If you search
Mia Bras. But yeah,
Now
they should show
there's
up.
no search feature. You're absolutely right on that one. All right, boys. Segue. We're gonna do what's on the bottom. You ready? What's on the bottom, everybody? Let me see.
Oh, I knew this was coming. I knew this was coming.
the
Wait, does that mean I have to show you my butt?
Yeah. Oh, hey now, Shannon.
I'm getting ready to work out. So
Bra shorts. Wrap up.
Gene.
Oh dear, he was not ready.
He was not ready for that.
Whoa.
he's like, hang on, let me go put my pants on.
That is how I'm gonna
You're not supposed to moon us.
That's all I got. So, all right, listen. What's your back crap crazy, Matt?
Wait, did you see my bottom? Okay,
I
was
did
with
see your bottom.
All right, good.
We saw your bits.
Wait, don't do me first because you back crap crazy first.
All right, Shannon, back crap crazy, brother.
You know what? Actually, I got to give a shout out, and I'm back crap crazy to my boys over there at Zapier, Zapier.com. It's basically it's an online web application where you can automate pretty much every other web application to whatever you want. So if you want to say you want to collect emails from Google Forms and start collecting them to your MailChimp, Aweber, or Infusionsoft, you can do that by creating a Zap. So my boys over at Zapier, I'm back crap crazy about you guys.
And that nerd alert moment was brought to you by Shannon and Zapier.
By Zapier,
That's awesome. I like it, brother. Will you post a link in there for us too, please?
Absolutely.
Nazim!
Okay.
Back crap crazy, please.
It's well, you know that I'm back crazy about the Mia Connect and Mia Voss, and obviously I'm
Love you,
back
brother.
crazy about Kazakiezi, which is coming up very soon.
Yes,
Getting
Sue
ready.
actually asked for you to do that. So yeah, tell us about that real quick.
I changed the lower third very quickly. Me and my wife, who've been living here for more than 22 years, we're going to start doing some stuff from Italy from the point of view of a couple that live in Italy.
Yep.
That's cool.
I love it.
That's going to be cool.
I think it should also be called The Life of Nazim, because if anybody follows him on Google+, I'm always like, look at all the cool stuff Nazim's doing. #, Life of Nazim.
I know. I'm going to have to follow Nazim now, because I was afraid, like you said earlier, Mia, like he's going to have this thick accent. I'd be like, oh, yeah.
Ma cosa dici? Ma che tipo di accento?
And I'd be like,
Oh, I loved you and Life is Beautiful.
it's like when oh my God, that was hilarious.
Oh my God, that is too funny. I love it. Hey,
I would ask
and our viewers just went up with that one. All right, what's your call to action too, Nazim?
Oh,
Go check out Kazakiezi. Can we subscribe on that?
Yeah. Go to the website link, and then you can go to the Google profile page, and that'll be great. That'll be really great. And
awesome.
I'm also, telling everybody to engage on Google HOs and HOAs. Just meet people, ping people, Anybody wants to come over to Italy, ping me. It's a party.
Yeah, I know Mara Mascara and Pio Del Sin are over in Italy too.
Yeah,
Yes,
Pio's great.
I just pictured him saying it's a party, but I pictured him saying it's a party.
It's a party.
You know what the best is when P.O. says bat crap crazy. It's basically bat crazy. That's my favorite. P.O. to say it's my favorite.
Are you using the 1UP app that makes that, or I don't know if it still works, but it used to hit the +1 and it used to make the Mario sound? No. That little.
No, I'm gonna have to add that into the site.
See if that works. Yeah, Now I can think about Super Mario Brothers and pizza. It's sad. I know.
Every time too. Wait, I got to go back to Shannon. I didn't get your call to action, bro. What do you want us to do? Rob.
Right down there, man.
Yeah, Shannon J. Hernandez.
Yeah, ShannonJHernandez.com. I got a newsletter coming out here this Sunday, and I got to give a shout out to also Jeff C. He's out there promoting I'm pimping out my.
He did. I saw that. He's a
Shannon Hernandez
list. I dig it. I dig that about him.
The king of video.
Oh yeah.
Interactive. Our brother. And he's got a great beard. I love that beard.
The beard.
I know, man.
All right, over to you, Matthew Rappaport. What's your final words? Backcrap crazy.
Backcrap crazy. So we mentioned Vine earlier. I am vining the crap out of Vine.
You are kind of a Vine hooker.
So I think, I am. So YouTube has been like the big thing. Everyone's YouTube creators, but Vine is really there, and I think it's coming up. But I think a lot more people are going to be doing it. And Vine has actually made people into these comedians, or more so, millions of followers, and their Vine is a great place for advertisers to go, and they're starting to invest money there. So I think Vine is going to get bigger, not smaller. People are trying to kill it like they are Google Plus. Why? But it's getting bigger. So check that out. I think it's vine.co/Matt Rappaport or Matthew Rappaport, one of those. And I should know that. What? But also,
you need to check theirs out because his are funny.
Thanks. And then also, the Secret app, I noticed this too, the Secret app got some play on the I.O. stage. I thought that was interesting, and they had a couple of sessions about Secret. And I heard originally, Secret was going to be that you could anonymously text someone something, but now that iOS didn't go for that. And it's interesting. Secret was the first one to have that Vic was leaving or interviewing somewhere else. So there's interesting rumors on there. There's also a lot of crazy sex talk, but it's anonymous.
Oh, dear.
But it's interesting. And what else?
Oh, dear.
What else? Oh, Chef Dennis Little. Chef Dennis Little is all weekend, starting tonight. Cocktail party. Yep. Check him out. And Larry Fournier.
Annual Bloggers Conference. Yes. Winter session.
Winter session. But you can check me out. I'm google.com/plus Matthew Rappaport. You'll get everything there. That works.
Hey. And listen, you guys, everybody's going to comment and put all their links in there, all that good stuff. Matt, when is your session on Chef Dennis?
Oh, I will be joining Chef Denise on Sunday for a little Instagram talk, which is interesting because
with my girl Sue.
With your girl Sue, and I think Google is going to come out with their own Instagram with Google Plus Photos, maybe Googlegram. What do you guys think of that, real quick?
Googlegram.
I don't know.
It sounds like a cracker when you say it that way.
I don't know what it's going to be called. Do you guys think that they're going to do that? They're going to have their own. They're going to connect Google Plus to a standalone Instagram type Google Plus Photos app, or that's crazy.
It sounds busy, but I'd try it.
It wouldn't surprise me.
Yep, I would totally try it. I love it. Well, and to quote Christine DeGraff's fiance, Google, Google, Google. That's what he pretty much says. Our whole conversation is over here. Google, Google, Google.
Is that when he is sober or when he's drunk? Because that's how either way.
We didn't even, speaking of Google, we didn't even talk about the killer robots. What?
Oh, man. Post a picture of that one, too. All right, guys, we got to go because Sheffy's show is starting, and we want to go over there. So my call to action is go subscribe at themiaconnect.com. Also, if you guys want to be invited, bra.com, themiaconnect.com. If you want to be invited to events, please let me know in the comments here. Oh, and my Backcrap Crazy is Omaze, which I think is Omaze Balls. Okay? That's it. Thank you so much, Matt Rappaport. Hey, Nazim Beltran. Hey, and Shannon Hernandez. And Mark Seidel. That was for him. All right, guys, we're outie. Bye.
Bye.
I was working for the Huffington Post the last 6-7 months doing their Google Plus, and I've done New York City Hurls, and I love social. I love Google Plus. I love the way that tiara looks on you, and I love beards, I guess, because I haven't shaved either. I was Shannon J. Hernandez is one of my idols when it comes to beards. Him and Ted Fontaine and but yeah, no, Google Plus has been great. Meeting a lot of great people, doing hangouts, and I can't wait for Chef Dennis's blogger cocktail hangout thing that I'm sure you're gonna say a lot more nicer than me. Oh, you're taking a picture.
I'm going to Instagram this bad boy, because what I'm loving, too, is it turned out exactly as I planned, is that I've got my two bearded ones on either side flanking Nazim. I kind of planned it that way.
You didn't get it where I was drinking coffee or
Today's show is sponsored by Vegas Coffee.
You know what? My show is sponsored by my Tesla mug that I picked up during my test drive last week. Then I'm still buzzing from. Hey. Exactly. All right, so who else is up? And thank you for coming on the show, Matt Rappaport. We're going to dish. You guys, I really want you to put your questions and comments in the event, because let's pick their brain. Come on now. It's a smart move. All right, next up, my man, Shannon J. Our famous thing that we do.
I haven't done that in like 6 months. And
you're probably rusty.
There it is.
This one's going out to Mark Seidel right now.
Exactly. Oh, I got Instagram. Shannon, who are you? Where are you? What are you doing? What do you do?
My name is Shannon Hernandez. I hail from Phoenix, Arizona. And excuse me. Hello. Yeah, I'm from Phoenix, Arizona. I have my own website, Shannon J. Hernandez, and I also wear a number of different hats. I help my sister's law firm, Hernandez Family Law. Currently, right now, we are in the middle of a build phase of a membership site for people in Phoenix looking to get a divorce. So if you are looking for a divorce.
I like how you just scoot right past that. Looking to get a divorce.
Yeah. No, so we're doing that. Also, I have been in the planning stages of my own membership site, and of course, when you wear a bunch of different hats, everything that you want to do takes kind of backseat. So, just doing a lot of that, and I've been falling kind of off the face of the planet from Google Plus.
And Shannon, we precede everything with the words bra. And finally, last but not least, my brother from another mother, coming straight out of Milan, Nazim Beltran. Hey.
Hey. Thanks for having me on the show. It's a pleasure. I love being here.
Could you swear in Italian for me real quick?
Certo, tendenzialmente dovete andare tutti vaffanculo. And that's the end of that.
Fangul!
There goes the Italian audience.
And I'm watching the numbers drop as we speak.
I know. It's like everybody's like, well, who's this guy?
That's not your numbers, baby.
All right, well, you're the third of my Renaissance man, because I know you guys are saying multitaskers and different hats, but listen, you are Renaissance men. So tell us what you think.
Renaissance.
Born in Caracas, Venezuela. Parents got divorced when I was 6. My mom dragged me to New York, brought up in Long Island and then in the city. Moved down to Miami, studied architecture, a little bit of programming, got involved in a big firm, then fell in love with the woman that dragged me over to this side of the world.
Betty. Hey, Betty.
Brought me over to Milan, and been working on websites with Park Media
for like the past, I'd say, month or so. But that was all for good reason, only because I had a project that I had created for my parents' 50th anniversary that happened a few weeks back, and so that kind of took. Remember the scene in Star Wars where it was like, the recent Star Wars one, it was like Episode 2, where Yoda comes walking in and he has to fight Count Dooku, and he comes in with like the cane, and then of course when he has to fight, he gets up and he's all awesome, and then when Dooku escapes, then he goes back to his cane. That's how I feel right now. I feel I'm back on my cane right now.
Mia won't talk about Episode 2.
Yeah, exactly. I was about to say, let's note that was our first Star Wars reference, and the fact that right before the show started, I was busting on every Star Wars episode except for 4 and 5. I'll say it.
Right. No. So, but that was my comparison to
I
how
love
I
the
feel
analogy.
these days.
That was your Harrison comparison.
I actually would go with the comparison of Harrison Ford in Raiders of the Lost Ark, when the guy comes out with a sword and he's all this, and he's just like, ugh, takes a gun, shoots him. Done. That's you.
I wish that's how I felt.
Exactly. Well, welcome back to the Google Plus world. We missed you.
Yeah, brah.
Yes, brah. Brah, ha, ha. For anybody that knows me, you ready?
Yep.
Hey, how's everybody today? I am Mia Voss. Welcome to the Mia Connect Power Chat. Today we're going to talk about things that are trending, and I've got 3 guys in my panel that I can't wait for you to meet. So I'm going to start off, I'm going to jump into them, and then we're going to get into the backpack comments because we have a crap ton of comments to go through. So who wants to be first? Raise your hand. Look at no. Oh, there you go. Boom, winner, winner. Matt Rappaport, welcome. Hey.
Hi.
Hey. There you go.
I'm holding the hangout out with my hands. Oh, it's so heavy.
You are Rappa Old Man Hangout.
Yes. happy old man birthday to me. That's best. Thank you for compliments. I love compliments.
All right,
Thank you, Mia Boss. Thanks for being having me on your Connect, the Mia Connect. I'm Matt Rappaport. I have been on Google Plus since Moses held the 10 Commandments.
The burning bush. Hello.
3 years ago. Yeah, hello. Happy birthday, Mr. Google, or Mrs. Google Plus, I should say.
Right.
And so, yeah, I am the host of Hangout Conversations, and I run Section 10 Media. You also know me.